1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Pod.
And the gang's all here, all things on the south side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen, Blue Island, Beverly, Pay, Listen, all sub 2. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oak Lawn, Midlothian,
Southside Pod.
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
All right, so while we were gone,
And
I'm sure you guys have stuff that you want to share, and we
let's start with your stuff.
my stuff.
Yeah. Let's start
What do you
with.
want to talk about?
Let's start with. You went to a Weezer concert. You weren't dating anybody. I didn't see you for 5 months.
Yeah.
And then the day after the Weezer concert, you started dating somebody. And like the day I saw you, you broke up with the person like the day before.
I didn't see Mike for the entirety
It's
of
like,
the relationship.
see ya. Poof.
You know, she was a 4'9" beautiful Puerto Rican girl who went to the gym on a daily basis and did like 200 squats. And
You dated Rosie
was
Perez?
gorgeous. Oh, you know what? People used to say that she looked like Rosie Perez.
Did she
like
talk
we'd
like
be
her?
out. I said that to her. I'm like, you kind of remind
That's
me of Rosie
perfect
Perez.
because you can't jump.
And I'm going to tell you, that was the perfect roller coaster ride post divorce. Like that was it. That was fun. Okay, until the end. The end was a thing, but I mean, it was fun. And you know what I learned about that? She was perfect for the fact that I got my confidence back. I learned how to date again after being with the same person for 24 years, right? I felt really good about myself after, the first few months of dating her. She really brought me back and kind of reminded me that I was a good dude. And I was like, people liked me and I felt normal again. But what it was, I get the same story from every divorcee. I have spoken in the last month to multiple women and men who have been divorced, and they have all brought up the same thing. Did you have the first relationship after the divorce? And I was like, yeah, I dated this girl for 5 months. And all of them tell the exact same tale of their first one out of the divorce. It's 4 to 6 months. You fall madly in love with the person because it's the first person that's treated you nicely.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first person that's treated you nicely in a long time. Like, I mean, the marriage was so bad, I can actually honestly say that there wasn't any real love that I felt for like the last 7 years or so of that marriage. So like somebody finally cares
It's a long
about
time.
you. So you dive into it. Like, it's like the deep end of the pool and you're like, boom, you just dive in, and then you don't like fighting. So you don't say anything when somebody does something you don't like. Because you're like,
Avoiding confrontation.
Right. I fought like crazy in the marriage, so I'm not going to fight now. And so you ignore little things that you probably would never ignore. And then it's like riding a bike. And the first block or two, if you've just started riding a bike after you haven't ridden one in a long time, you might be a little shaky. But once you get used to it, now you feel good. And now you notice the things that you wouldn't have put up with. And then the relationship ends. And every single person I've talked to, they describe their first relationship out of the divorce like that. And that's what this was like. I don't have any animosity towards her. Okay. I really cared about her, but it's the first one out. And I think it's like that thing that you have to go through. Unfortunately, you kind of have to go through a thing. And then she was kind of a jag at the end. Like, I mean, you want to hear the story? Mike's heard the story.
Did you out Jagger at the
Mike,
end though?
No, I just dumped her.
Oh.
Like it was like going through like you finally became a Jedi. Like you went through the Jedi trials. Like at the end, you feel good, you've made it through the divorce, and now you see the person do something very similar to what your ex used to do, and you're like, yeah, I'm not putting up with this time. And it was like boom.
You struck her down.
You go, that's it.
Took the hood off.
We're not talking
whipped out
about
the
it.
lightsaber.
I'm not working on this. I'm not trying to change you. You just are what you are. I'm done.
Did you bring up Star Wars references on your first date? Because that might have something to do with it too.
I
No,
heard
don't
that
think she
goes
would've
over
dated me.
well.
I don't think she would have dated me.
This is just like a Jedi.
There's no way the cute little Puerto Rican girl was dating the white guy with the Star Wars references. I had to try to act cool. So anyway, here's the thing. She liked to take trips. Okay. And in fact, any conflict or anything that ever came out of during the relationship was always after she had gone someplace with her friends. Because I think middle-aged women who have not been married for 10 years or more, if they're in a group. They've gotten very used to each other going on all their trips together and doing things together and going to clubs together. So they may say, they may tell their friend, I'm really happy you found somebody, but that person's taking that girl away from the group.
Right.
And so they don't really like it. So we always had things where
it's always been like, think about like high school relationships, same thing, right? You don't hang out with your friends as much.
You've changed, all that stuff. Man.
It's like that. It's like that. So she went to Cabo with her friends, and this was a long time trip that she was going to take to Cabo. And she made all these rules that I never made, okay? And I don't know. I don't know how much of this is cultural or whatever. Rules. She would tell me, she's like, I don't wear anything that isn't conservative when you're not around, because if my man's not around, like I'm not showing off the girls. I got to have my skirt a certain length. Like she would make these rules. I didn't make them for her. Like this is how she acted.
She was making like 1940s misogynistic, like
for herself.
Yeah, for herself.
Okay, and then she was like, I don't go clubbing when you're not around. I don't dance with other guys when you're not around.
She's making rules for you at this point. Not
That's
for her.
what she's doing. But here's the funny thing: after making all those rules,
clubbing either,
and she's out of town, I get a video, and this was the weirdest thing in the world. Like maybe 5 days earlier, I'm being told I'm like the love of her life, and she's talking about long-term marriage. Sure. And then all of a sudden, I get a video at midnight.
She was talking about short-term marriage.
Yeah, no, long-term marriage. I say long-term marriage.
A couple of years.
She would send me reels of old people together, and she's like, "This is what I want for us." And we've been dating for 5 months. And that's what we were doing.
Opening of Up,
So the thing is, and I was all for it. Like I said, I dove right in. Right, like I was all for it. I'm blinders because somebody cares.
Right,
And she sends me a 2-minute video of her standing in a circle where all these people are videoing her doing this Latin dance. I don't know exactly which dance it is.
Not the forbidden dance.
Well, she's doing something with her hands all over a guy, and he's got his hands all over her.
That's the lambada.
Okay, and he takes his shirt off in the middle of it.
Wait, she sends this to you?
Yes, she sends it to me, and she's smacking him on the ass.
Cool.
And she just sends it to me. She doesn't send it.
Wish you were him.
Well, that was
right.
No, there wasn't even any words. Imagine getting that video from your girl while she's on vacation. And she's someplace with all of her girlfriends, and she's made all these rules that you never told her you cared about. And she sends you this video with no explanation. Not like, I met this person, I was the only one who knew how to do the dance, he's a friend, he's part of the tour. Nothing. Just sends this thing. So I write back, I write to her.
How long did it take you to Photoshop you next to a hot girl and send back to her?
Well, that's I'm
having fun too.
Hindsight being 2020, I shouldn't have sent a thing. I should have gone out the next night. I should have asked some girls, shown them the video and said, I want you to do this dance with me. I should have, and I should have done something and sent it back. Like hindsight being 2020, I should have just played the same game.
We can still do that.
But instead what I did was I just wrote like, hey, why'd you send this to me? Like, I would never dance with like some girl and like send you a video. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's something you don't share, right?
No.
Maybe she was just like trying to make, see if you were into it.
The explanation was, this is me sharing my fun. And if this is how you're going to act when I share my fun when I'm away from you, next time I'll just do it and not show it to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's rough, right?
Say, last time I shared my fun, I got kicked out of Home Depot.
So now,
Costco.
I write something to her. I'm like, that's a really crappy response. Like, we should probably talk about this. So the next day, she doesn't respond to me anymore that night. She leaves me to stew in the whole thing. It's a really crappy way to treat somebody. And the next day, she like texts me basically, I'm sorry, you're upset. Not she's sorry.
I'm sorry.
Then she tells the guy whose wife was out of the house after a drunken episode where a kid ended up getting hurt. Okay. She tells him, your culture drinks, mine dances. That was a slap. Oh. And then she tells me,
your culture. What do you mean my culture?
And then, no, hold on a second.
I can dance.
Then Footloose. Then a 51-year-old woman used the phrase, if I can't be 100,
nice.
What are we doing with each other?
Did you tell her that's super sus? No cap?
What are you saying? Like, this is the weirdest phrase I've ever heard.
She learned it from the guy laying next to her in bed, the 22-year-old.
Probably. And then she proceeds to not speak to me for multiple days. Like, no response to anything, flies back, gets back to her place, doesn't, like, have me pick her up at the airport, doesn't talk to me.
She was seeing how, not gullible, what's that? Like, how much she can use you for.
How much she could simp me out.
Yeah, right.
That's what she was doing.
She was testing you.
She was Jada Pinkett Smithing me. That's what she was doing. Yeah. That's what was happening there. And I was not putting up with that. Like, by the time that she called me on a Tuesday, multiple days later, after she had sent me reels about how, like, I was the bad guy. Like, she wasn't texting me. She was sending me Facebook reels about how I was the bad guy.
Very passive aggressive.
Oh, yeah. I was done already.
I'm going to put you on that emoji app. We can only text each other.
And And then the most amazing thing about it was I did exactly what I would have done when I was younger. Like, that's how it felt. It was
Did she
like
get crazy when you
cried.
broke up with her?
No, she yelled on the phone. I yelled. We were both angry with each other. And I just basically said, wait a minute, we're not married. Why am I doing this? We're done. And I just hung up the phone and we were done. And that was it. And like, she's reached out a few times, but I just kind of ignore her. And that's, I mean, because the thing is,
We lost one subscriber.
that's it. Like, I mean, like, that's it. Well, who puts up with that? Like, right? Like, who
Desperate guy.
Yeah.
who puts up
No,
with
I
that?
mean, it's true. There's guys
Right.
that probably would, and that's what she was doing.
Well, the funniest thing was is that I have a couple of friends of mine. You know, I spoke with this one couple, okay, and they're both Latin, and the wife and the husband both said the same
his
thing.
Latin friend.
No, they both said the same thing.
True.
No, hold on a second. They both said the same thing. They both said, "Were you the first white guy she dated?" And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "Because Latin men would have done that differently. They would have said, okay, those are the rules, and they would have gone out and gotten another girl. Like, they would have just said, oh, that's how we're doing it? And you were like, I'm not putting up with that crap, I'll just get another one. And it was the guy's wife who said it to me. She's like, I dated a white guy one time. He would never put up with that stuff. But in they were like, her culture, that's kind of like, she just kind of expected you to roll
from
with the
talking
punches.
to two people, that's a little
No,
bit of a broad generalization.
No, that was the first conversation.
Oh,
Then I
okay.
talked to my buddy Matt, who's out in California, who's
Mateo?
also Mexico.
Sorry.
I've got more than two Latin friends.
It's just weird that you're bringing this into a whole cultural thing.
But that's the thing. She used it as a cultural thing. She was like, it's my culture.
and you
In
made
my
fun of
culture,
her
we
for
act
that,
this
but
way.
you're doing the same thing.
No, I'm just kind of pointing out. You know what? Shut up.
Oh, it's good to be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up. I hate you.
We're not dating. Click.
You know what? We're not married. I'm breaking up with you, too.
It's a good run. It's a good run, ladies and
roasted.
gentlemen.
Oh, it's the Southside Pod and the Southside Pod.
Oh, we're the Southside Pod.
It's the Southside Pod. It's the Southside Pod.
Oh, it's the Southside Pod.
We talk about everything you want to hear. We talk about breweries that serve the beer. We talk about the restaurants where we eat. We talk where the places where we walk our feet to the Southside Pod. Southside Pod. It's the Southside Pod. It's the Southside Pod. It's the Southside Pod. Thank you for listening to
The EP podcast at Porter Cullens, because this is the week. This is the place to be in Evergreen Park. It's been like that for years before my friend Kirtan came along and took this place to new heights, which, by the way, it looks beautiful, my friend.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
It looks absolutely incredible. I mean, I brought the kids in here to eat tonight, and both of the boys are looking around. They're like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, it's like going to Disney World.
Yeah.
But it's an Irish bar.
That was the idea. As you can tell, we're very green right now. So, and that's before all the drinks. That's the best part.
This place, I mean, first off, I remember when you took it over. It was a great place when you took it over, but the level that you've taken it to, I mean, everything from the table settings to the different chairs and the bar stools, but also the menu and the food that's on there. It's like you took everything. I had the corned beef sandwich, which I always thought of as one of the best ones on the South Side before you got in here. I could tell you've made modifications to it. It's even better. Like, how has it been the last couple of years? You must feel really good about where you've gotten.
I feel very fortunate, to be honest with you. A lot of times when I make some of these changes, I don't really know if they're going to work.
Yeah.
I just take a shot in the dark, and I hope it works out. And I've been very fortunate. The community's been very honest and open with me if they liked what I did or if they didn't like what I was doing. And it's kind of helped me right size to make sure that I'm serving them in the best possible way that they would like to be served, because this is what this is about. It's about the community. It's about our customers, and I'm glad. So the journey over the last 2 years has, I said it last year, has far exceeded every expectation I ever had. It's really the best, and I'm very, very lucky.
I think one of the things that's amazing is that most of the time when you're here, I mean, you can't be here all the time, but you're here most of the time. Like, I popped in this weekend. I just popped in because I was like, I'm right up the block. I'm like, I'm going to go up, I'm going to have a drink. There you were, just sitting there. We had a good time. I think we closed the place out.
We sure did.
we had a solid time. So this week now, you've got so much going on, I would imagine, because one, the crowds have to pick up in March. Like, you get people who are nostalgic and they want to go out and they want to have the Irish Fair, and you've got plenty of that here, and they also want to get themselves a Guinness, and they also want to be here on St. Pat's Day, and there's going to be people here on Southside Irish Parade Day, and all weekend, I would imagine, is going to be busy. What are your plans? What are the plans here at Porter Cullens?
Yeah, so we're going to have, kind of our typical fare. We'll have it out there. We're also going to do an Irish platter this weekend with the corned beef and cabbage and the potatoes and the carrots and that kind of thing. Obviously, we're going to serve a lot of Guinness. I actually tripled my Guinness order this week just to make sure we're ready to go.
Good plan.
Yeah, along with the Miller Lights and the Bud Lights and anything else that anybody wants. But we've made sure we've stocked up. We are going to have live music every single day of the weekend, where we have different bands popping through. Whether that be O'Leary's Lantern or the Gotham Ramblers. Murphy's. We have different bands playing through. On Sunday, we're going to have bagpipers in here in the morning. We're opening early at 8 a.m. So if you need to put down a bass before...
Wow, you got 8, you're 8 a.m. open?
8 a.m. open on Sunday
here.
morning.
Wow.
Make sure you can put down your pancakes and whatever else you need to before heading down to Western. Make sure that you got a good bass down, because that's how you ensure longevity through the day. And and we're gonna have the bagpipers in here around 10. We're gonna have dancers come through, the Irish dancers, and then we'll have a band that evening as well. So, that's kind of the way we want to do it. I know, it just depends on the crowds. I've been telling everyone that we're gonna have a good crowd. We're a little bit off the beaten path, so if you want to come and have a good time. And really calm, chill, fun surroundings with a good crowd.
You're gonna get those people after the parade too, because a lot of Western shuts down, and the people that are gonna ease their way back to Evergreen Park are gonna be heading over here.
And that's exactly what happened last year.
Yeah.
We had everyone kind of ease back in, and the crowd here was really great. We were full, but it was a really good vibe, really good time. So I encourage folks to come out any one of the days or all of the days. We'll be here, and we'd be happy to serve you.
Is it hard during this week to make sure you got the bagpipers and you got the bands and the music and everything else like that? Because I would imagine everybody's trying to do the same thing. You got to get in there early and get who you need, right?
Yeah, so we booked some of these guys months in advance.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take the credit for it. I'm going to give it to my staff. My staff is locked in. They keep me honest to it. And they're like, hey, now's the time. Do you want us to contact this person, that person? And then they take care of it. And so, a lot of credit goes to my team for doing that. I'm just the guy that happens to be the one that's got to make sure it's taken care of, and that's about it.
Do you have a favorite menu item, favorite Irish fare menu item on your menu? Because I've said it before, it's the Irish egg. I just love it. I didn't have it tonight because I went with corned beef, but I love that Irish egg. But you have so many different items on there, from the fish and chips to the corned beef or whatever. But is there one on there that's going to be your go-to this weekend?
It's going to be the egg rolls. It's always the corned beef egg rolls. That's our top seller. It has been for years and years and years. So I suspect we'll be selling and serving a lot of corned beef.
Those
egg
are
rolls.
Big here.
Gigantic. It's my top seller of all things that we make.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great tidbit. I had no idea that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them. I've had them here before, but I did not pick that as the number one thing.
It's funny, it's that, and my second is nachos. So go figure. If that doesn't say South Side, I don't know what does, right? I mean, so.
The bar, I would imagine, will be a little deep here behind us this weekend.
It will be.
It'll be deep when we
we'll
get
have
there.
more.
Yeah.
We'll have more folks.
But the nice thing is it's a neighborhood bar, and that's the thing. I'm going to be up on Western at some point during that parade, and it's going to get crazy in some of those places. This is not the kind of place where you expect that to happen.
No, it won't. It won't be. It'll be just the right amount of rowdy to be fun.
Yeah.
But not so rowdy that you're like, please get me out of here. So I think it's going to be it'll be a good crowd, and we have unbelievable customers. And I always say we're a little bit like Fight Club. If you don't know it's there, you don't know it's there. And if you do, you do. And we don't talk about it, right? And so, at the end of the day, I expect us to have our regulars come in and come out and have a really good time. So,
are you put on the leprechaun costume?
I will be dressed as a leprechaun. I have a couple of twists and turns
Is
involved.
is it all weekend long, or is there a special day?
I have 3 different outfits for 3 different days, so
wow.
We'll see. I'll be ready to go.
All right, that's another reason to get out here to Porter Cullens. I mean,
You've never seen an Indian leprechaun. You will this weekend, let me tell you.
Right here on 99th Street off of Clifton Park, and easier to say Central Park and 99th for those that may not be exactly from the neighborhood. But it's just an amazing spot. And I'm going to tell you, ever since you changed the lighting, it's like the building has a mood. I know how the building's feeling that day. If it's in a good mood, if it's Valentine's Day, if it's St. Patrick's Day, if it's ready to party. The building changes colors. It's it's a building with a personality now.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful way to put it.
That's my take as I drive down the street.
I love it, especially with the new signage. We're able to change the colors. So right now it's obviously the colors of the Irish flag. For St. Patrick's we had for St. Valentine's Day we had it pink and purple, and we keep kind of evolving with that, but I have great decorators that come through, add a lot of these stairs. And I never thought about it when I first did it, but a lot of people said the same thing, that when they drive by, it kind of catches their eye. And like I said, I try things, I never know if they're going to work, and I've been very fortunate that some of these things have panned out the way they have.
Well, you're killing it, my friend. Good luck this weekend. You'll see me here at some point, if not many points,
sounds
at
good.
Porter Cullens.
I look forward to seeing you, and hopefully I'll still see you when I see you. All right?
Girl, I must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind. Situation is serious. Let's cure it 'cause we're running out of time. It's so beautiful. Relationships, they seem from the start, it's all so deadly. When love is not together from the heart, it's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Misser, kisser, lover, that girl is poison. That girl is poison. If I were you, I'd take precaution before I step to meet a fly girl, you know. 'Cause in some portions, you think she's the best thing in the world. She'll drive you right out of your mind and steal you your heart when you're blind. Beware, she's scheming. She'll make you think you're dreaming. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming demon. That girl is poison. That girl is poison. Poison, deadly, moving in so slow. Looking for a mellow fellow like DeVoe. Getting paid late, so you better lay low. Scheming on house money and the whole show. The low pro hoe should be cut like an afro. You see what you're saying, huh? She's a winner to you. But I know she's a loser. How do you know? Me and the crew used to do her. That girl is poison. Girl is poison. Girl is poison. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming demon. That girl is poison. That girl is poison. That girl is poison. Me and the crew used to do her. Like he just told his boy, like, yeah, all of us fucked her. How do you know? Hey, I think my girl might be cheating on me. Oh, she is.
She is.
How do you know? We all fucked her. Like, imagine that conversation, like in the studio.
Good work. Call him that one.
It's the South Side. It's the South Side. It's South Side Pod. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to the South Side Pod.
Y'all come back now, you hear?